Mind if I taste?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't know if it's still not, it's like might be salty.
Oh, it's awful. That's great. Wow, that's really lovely. I'm a cook, I would say. I get to cook and I get to write about cooking. Putting out a Korean recipe, you want to do right by your people, you know? You also want to innovate. If their reaction is that they don't like it, it might be because that's not how they grew up eating it. People want you to be the person who like puts out the version that represents everyone the most. But you could go to 5 different Korean families' homes, have bulgogi at each of them, and not one will be like the other. They're all gonna be a little different. Some people don't add sugar, a lot of people add a lot of sugar, and there's so many different ways to cook this dish.
Chicken bulgogi.
I've seen bulgogi cheesesteaks.
This piece was sort of an opportunity for me to explore what it means when we have a shared conception of what a dish should be, a very like cultural dish like bulgogi. I don't think the one should represent the many. I think the many should represent the many.
Bulgogi meatballs.
Castor sugar as well as ground up Asian pear.
in the marinade.
I made a vegan version.
Bulgogi.
Bulgogi. Bulgogi means fire meat. Pu is fire, gogi is meat. I was kind of curious to know why this dish is called fire meat when growing up, my mom pulled it out of the freezer and it was very brothy and saucy. So where did the fire go? So we're in K-Town right now on 35th Street in Manhattan. About to head to my favorite Korean restaurant ever called Chodango. They are very creative with their bulgogi, some classics, but also some innovations that I think are really delicious. During the Kogiro Kingdom, there was a dish called mekjeok. Marinated grilled pork was eaten by the Mek people in the northern part of the peninsula. Many historians say that it eventually evolved into nabiani, a dish that we identify as part of the royal court cuisine. Ooh, pretty. Wow, 맛있겠다. 감사합니다. The bulgogi we have now, it's very contested how that even happened. It's interesting to see potential like echoes of the past that lead you to how it may have ended up on our plates today. We've got our jukumi bulgogi here, bulgogi Chun, and this chonggol is bubbling away over here. I feel like this array of dishes really shows the expansive definition of bulgogi. I'm gonna try to finish it all by myself. I spoke with a wide variety of people.
Hi.
Hi.
You come in with like an idea of what you think your piece will be and then it kind of evolves into something even better because of what you have arrived at through these conversations, which is the truth.
In modern times, it just bulgogi doesn't really have boundaries. It really all depends. That's the answer.
Hyosun Ro, a food blogger, very popular Korean blog, Korean Papsang. She is just a prolific cook.
I grew up in Seoul in 60s and 70s. When we were growing up, it certainly was not everyday food because meat was expensive back then. Back then it was special. I also make bulgogi flavored dishes. Dak bulgogi is highly popular. Salmon and squid, all sorts of things.
She was able to sort of cook these Korean dishes and reclaim them.
Where are you right now?
Ulchipdo, now called Hipjiro because there's so many hip little restaurants and bars.
Hooni Kim, chef, renowned cookbook author. The most popular dishes at his restaurant, Tanji, is bulgogi sliders. Ugh, doesn't that look good?
Trying to sort of share that experience with non-Koreans who may not be familiar with Korean food, I needed to create something where they would feel familiar, and it was the word slider.
I also talked to Justine Lee, who is a wonderful food writer. She's the one who taught me to put mozzarella cheese on my bulgogi, and I'm never going back. It's really good.
I was about, I want to say like 12 or 13. I got served this bulgogi, and then out of nowhere, there was like this molten pile of cheese on top. It just reinvented what I thought about bulgogi and became like a comfort food for me.
Right now, I'm getting ready to cook with Chun. Chun is a wonderful recipe developer. I'm excited to meet her.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I wanted to have you on here because I wanted to kind of celebrate our bulgogi recipes. Thought it would be fun for me to make the bulgogi eggplant. And I really wanted to taste your bulgogi bolognese. But let's get started. I
Awesome.
feel like you have a lot of prep work to do,
Yeah,
which
I'm
I
just
will
gonna
help
start
you with.
Okay.
The last time I had a homemade bolognese was an ex-boyfriend making it for me.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was really bland.
It was really bland.
If he's watching.
Oh my God.
So tell us the inspiration behind this.
Our dinner table at home was kind of like a blend of a lot of different things that wasn't just Korean food. So we would have like bulgogi on the table, and then, my brother and I would be enjoying spaghetti. I'd find myself having a bite of bulgogi and
Oh my
then
God.
a bite of spaghetti, and
Oh.
it was so good together. Korean flavors go well with other things.
And what's cool is people might call this fusion, but it's actually a dish of your childhood. What does bulgogi mean to you?
I find myself using it like as a flavor descriptor.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, I want to make this like bulgogi style.
Bulgogi, that word, sometimes it's used as a noun, like referring to that dish, but many times it's used as an adjective to describe the flavor profile.
It's almost like tanjan, which is like that Korean word for like sweet, savory.
Slightly sweet and savory.
You can smell that aroma as soon as it meets heat.
Then it made me ask the question, can anything be bulgogi? As long as you have that basic flavor profile of soy sauce, sugar, and garlic, and that inspiration. Sort of like we call anything buffalo flavored buffalo, They even sell bulgogi sauce, by the bottle.
What is Korean anyway, right? It's all perspective.
Our parents immigrated here and came with a certain moment in Korea, and Korea right now separately is like growing and changing.
Korea, a very, very changing country.
I've seen bulgogi cheesesteaks in the younger Itaewon parts of the neighborhood where they sell hoagies and gyros. That's the trend in Korea. They have to do something else to bulgogi to make it stick out. I do feel like Korean Americans are a lot more protective of Korean cuisine and Korean culture. Most of us have grown up with parents who left in the 60s, 70s, or even the early 80s, where very traditional.
If I use olive oil in my recipes, people are gonna say you're not authentic, right? But no, these days a lot of chefs use olive oil to stir fry something very Korean dish. It's totally fine with the people in Korea. Pretty soon the definition of authentic will change.
It's not just like one particular thing, it's your experience and your upbringing and your background, and all those things are very authentic to you.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Of course, my pleasure. I'm like, I want to try your eggplant. This ragu is also good in a sandwich. Kind of like a sloppy joe, Yeah.
Bulgogi, so regarded and loved by its people. It's important to remind ourselves that food changes and culture changes, and being stuck in the past is one way to avoid ever innovating, and I don't like that.